Diogenes of Sinope, the infamous Cynic philosopher who lived from roughly 412 to 323 BCE, was no ordinary thinker. He called himself the dog, or kion, and for good reason. Like a guard dog, he barked, bit, and roamed freely, exposing the hypocrisy of society while protecting virtue. The video makes this analogy explicit. Critics, like Diogenes, serve as watchdogs, warning friends and communities when they veer toward folly or corruption. Exiled from his native Sinope for allegedly defacing coins, Diogenes rejected conventional life and embraced radical asceticism in Athens. He lived with minimal possessions, often in a barrel or public spaces, subsisting on scraps, and flaunted societal norms to emphasize natural self-sufficiency and the primacy of virtue over status, wealth, or comfort. Diogenes' adoption of the dog persona was both symbolic and practical. Public mockery initially branded him a social outcast. He would eat in the agora as a stray, sleep where he pleased, and ignore the etiquette of Athenian elites. Yet he turned this scorn into a philosophy. He famously declared, "I fawn on those who give, bark at misers, bite scoundrels, and other dogs bite enemies. I bite friends to save them." In doing so, he positioned himself as a moral guardian. Like Zeus watching over mortals, Diogenes sought to protect human virtue by confronting folly directly. His barking was public criticism, his biting a form of tough love, harsh truths delivered to those he cared about to prevent moral collapse. He lampooned philosophers, mocked pretentious citizens, and used outrageous public acts to awaken society to its vices. A key anecdote illustrates his biting satire. Searching for an honest man, Diogenes walked the streets with a lantern in daylight, exposing the rarity of virtue amidst pretense. He humiliated Plato by plucking a chicken and declaring it a featherless biped, challenging abstract definitions that divorced philosophy from practical ethics. When Alexander the Great approached him with admiration, Diogenes famously told him to stand out of my sunlight, refusing flattery and reminding rulers that authority must never eclipse moral autonomy. These acts were not mere eccentricity, they were a deliberate social critique. Barking in public, biting friends with tough love, and living in extreme simplicity all served a cynic purpose: to protect virtue, expose hypocrisy, and guide a society toward living in accordance with nature. Diogenes' philosophy drew heavily on Socratic principles via Antisthenes. He advocated anadia, or shamelessness, a conscious rejection of conventional modesty that allowed him to live authentically and challenge others without fear of social reprisal. His lifestyle embodied these ideals. Diogenes discarded luxuries such as cups, beds, and fine clothing, even demonstrating public lessons in self-sufficiency. He once ate from his hands after a child showed him how to eat without utensils, emphasizing natural simplicity. By rejecting societal conventions, he made visible the absurdity of wealth obsession, vanity, and hypocrisy. He called men beautiful tombs of dead animals, criticizing how humans adorned lifeless forms of vanity while neglecting inner moral development. Every act, from living in a barrel to mocking elites, was a philosophical statement reinforcing the cynic view that true happiness and virtue are found in self-reliance, not social approval. The cynic approach also emphasized the moral responsibility of critique. Diogenes barked at fools not to shame them for amusement, but to correct their behavior and prevent harm. Friends were not exempt from biting. Confronting a companion with difficult truths was seen as a service, a preventative measure against moral decline. In this way, Diogenes' cynicism was protective, not destructive. His extreme lifestyle and unflinching honesty illustrate a core lesson. True friendship, civic responsibility, and ethical living sometimes require discomfort, confrontation, and public accountability. Criticism, when delivered with care and moral intent, functions as a societal safeguard, much like a dog alerting its owner to danger. Though Diogenes left no writings, his life and anecdotes, preserved by Diogenes, Laertius, and other sources, shaped an enduring philosophical legacy. He inspired the next generation of cynics, including Crates of Thebes, and profoundly influenced Stoicism, particularly Zeno of Citium, who incorporated cynic principles into a broader ethical framework. The video draws a parallel to modern society. Critics, whistleblowers, and truth-tellers are often labeled as troublemakers or foreign agents. But in the cynic tradition, these figures are the guard dogs of integrity. Like Diogenes, they protect communities from moral or social collapse by confronting hypocrisy, corruption, and self-deception, even when their actions are unpopular or misunderstood. Diogenes' tactics were consistent and deliberate. His barking involved public mockery and ridicule, intended to expose pretense and compel reflection. His biting of friends represented hard truths spoken out of care and responsibility. And his dog-like lifestyle, living in streets, consuming scraps, embracing poverty, embodied the philosophy of self-sufficiency and rejection of societal illusions. Each element reinforced the others. By demonstrating authenticity in his own life, he gained moral authority to challenge others without hypocrisy. He showed that integrity is not merely a private practice, but a public duty, requiring courage, self-discipline, and a willingness to endure scorn. The lessons of Diogenes remain strikingly relevant today. In a culture often resistant to criticism, quick to cancel, or eager to misinterpret honesty, understanding the protective role of the barking dog is vital. Critics are not inherently adversaries. They serve a corrective function, exposing errors, preventing exploitation, and safeguarding virtue. Whistleblowers, investigative journalists, and ethical reformers embody this spirit, risking social backlash to defend truth and accountability. Diogenes reminds us that societal health relies not only on those who follow rules, but on those willing to confront deviations, challenge self-deception, and hold communities accountable. Moreover, Diogenes' philosophy challenges conventional measures of success. Wealth, status, and approval are secondary to virtue, honesty, and moral courage. By living simply, rejecting societal norms, and confronting falsehoods head-on, he modeled a life in accordance with reason and nature. His cynicism was not pessimism or nihilism. It was a radical form of moral activism. Every public act, whether absurd, humorous, or shocking, served the purpose of awakening others to their own vices and compelling reflection on ethical living. In this sense, Diogenes was both philosopher and social reformer. Using personal example, humor, and confrontation to promote virtue. In practical terms, adopting a Diogenes-inspired approach requires embracing honesty, courage, and selective critique. Not every opinion or complaint qualifies as ethical intervention. The cynic approach targets hypocrisy, vice, and moral failure. Like Diogenes, modern individuals must balance audacity with purpose, ensuring that their interventions are aimed at growth, protection, and accountability rather than ego or cruelty. By understanding criticism as protective rather than destructive, we can reinterpret conflicts, social tension, and challenging feedback as opportunities for moral improvement and ethical vigilance. Diogenes' enduring influence lies in this synthesis of philosophy and action. He demonstrated that ethics is not theoretical but lived, and that virtue requires public accountability as well as private discipline. His anecdotes, mocking Plato, ignoring kings, searching for an honest man with a lantern, illustrate timeless lessons. Ethical living demands courage, confrontation, and authenticity. Friends and communities benefit when difficult truths are spoken, when moral integrity is prioritized over popularity, and when personal example reinforces the critique. The cynic model shows that genuine guardianship of virtue requires both independence and engagement with the world, even at personal cost. Finally, Diogenes invites reflection on the nature of society itself. Human communities often reward superficial conformity, flattery, and appearances while punishing authenticity, critique, or non-conformity. The cynic philosophy challenges this dynamic, arguing that integrity, courage, and moral vigilance are essential for the collective good. Barking, biting, and enduring discomfort are not signs of antagonism. They are acts of service, moral interventions meant to guide, protect, and preserve virtue in a flawed world. Critics, whether ancient philosophers or modern reformers, function in this tradition, reminding us that truth, accountability, and courage remain indispensable. In conclusion, Diogenes the Cynic exemplifies the role of the protective critic. He embraced the dog persona to challenge hypocrisy, safeguard virtue, and model ethical living through radical simplicity, public confrontation, and personal integrity. The video's analogy of critics as guard dogs resonates directly with his life. Not all criticism is harmful, and not all eccentricity is meaningless. By understanding the cynic philosophy, we can appreciate that moral vigilance often requires audacity, discomfort, and directness. Diogenes reminds us that safeguarding virtue is an active process, and that a society, or a friendship, benefits most from those willing to bark, bite, and live authentically in service of truth.